learning the new techniques and the new skills. So when you mix them, the habit with the new techniques and the new skills, that's when the world becomes very beautiful for a sales professional, because the two things, the most important things, first the habit, then techniques. But you have to start with the habit, That's the starting point for all sales professionals.
Welcome to the Sales Gravy Podcast. I'm Jeb Blount Jr., filling in for Jeb Blount Sr., and today we've got a wonderful guest. We've got Pablo Pefaur. He is going to kind of enlighten us a little bit about prospecting, especially in the Latin American market, and filling us in a little bit about Outbound. And speaking of Outbound, before we get started in the conversation, what I would like to do is invite you to Outbound Conference 2024. This is the place for sales professionals. It's the powerhouse of sales speakers who are coming to teach you about productivity, prospecting, and performance every single day so that you are at the top of your game. It's in San Antonio, Texas, November 5th through the 8th. That's November 5th through the 8th, Outbound Conference. If you haven't gotten tickets yet, go to outboundconference.com/tickets. That's outboundconference.com/tickets. Now we're here with Pablo, who is one of our speakers at Outbound. I'm so happy to have you on the podcast. Tell us a little bit about your background. So how did we find you? I know you're in the sales world in Latin America. Just kind of give the audience a little bit of background on yourself.
As you said, I'm happy to be here. So first of all, thank you very much for having me here in your show. I'm also a fan and a listener of the Sales Gravy podcast. Since its beginning, I think. Yeah. I will tell you something about me because maybe a lot of people don't know me. I am more known in the Latin American spectrum, but maybe in the US, not so much. So, Pablo Pefaur, I'm a sales professional. About 20 years ago, I started my career as a sales executive in a chemical company. Yeah. Then I continue to develop my career as a sales manager in a service company here in Chile that is also expanded to another countries in the region. 8 years ago, I decided myself to start this beautiful talent to become a sales trainer and a sales consultant. Yeah, 2016 was the August. I remember perfectly that date because it was a very important decision for me. Because I saw in the sales role and with my peers and with colleagues and working with another sales professionals, where was the main challenge for sales professionals? And I think that is very general for all parts of the world. I don't think that happens only here. Maybe these challenges or the main how can I say it, the main problems or difficulties that sales professionals found finding the sales role is first prospecting and then the follow-up. Prospecting and follow-up are the headaches, the major pains for sales professionals. So I decided to help there because in all my sales roles that I had in the past, always I had to start a new customer portfolio. I don't know how to say it, but here we call it cartera de clientes, customer portfolio, or build a a client portfolio from zero. Sometimes you begin working in a company and they give you, those are your clients, these are your customers, so you have to sell to them. Yeah, and maybe customers that are buying today, but they have to maintain or to develop that portfolio, But here, always I have always been in a role that I must build a new customer portfolio. So always I had to prospect in my life. Prospecting was something that I get familiar since the beginning of my sales career. So I have to knock on doors because for about 20 years ago that I started my career as a sales professional. The phone, email existed, but knocking on doors was also a very what's a daily activity for prospecting, So I started there. And then when I became a sales manager in the other company that I mentioned at the beginning, the same thing. My role was to, or my challenge was, my goal was to get new customers, sell to new customers, new clients, and always building a new customer portfolio. Not to work with customers that were already in the company. I don't know if that's okay, if you understand me. Sorry if my English is not perfect, but I'll do my best.
Makes perfect sense. So as far as when you saw the challenge, right, that sales professionals have, which is finding new business and following up after you've made initial contact with somebody, how are you, when you come to Outbound, right, and you're gonna have some content for folks, kind of tease us a little bit. What do you teach people that is some of the keys to unlocking the superpower of becoming an elite salesperson?
Yeah, very good question. Thank you for that. First of all, hyper personalization. Today, to personalize a message is not it's not enough. Today, when we say personalize the message, we only think in a name, a company, or a particular problem. But you have to investigate a lot your prospect before the first contact. To demonstrate very clearly and very, 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 very clearly that you know him, that probably his main challenges, his main problems, but also that his business, his reality. Maybe you can find that was Jeb calls him the trigger events. Those trigger events today they are a must. You can't reach a prospect without a good trigger. The trigger is essential, is a must today. It's not something that you can sometimes use it, sometimes not. I think that using a good trigger event to reach a customer, to connect with him in a better way, it's essential, it's a must today for prospecting. Also for following up, because following up is not a check-in call. It's not to know if the message gets in arrive to his inbox. You have to always give value in every time you reach out to your potential customer. You have to give value. So first of all, hyper personalization. Then in my book, Prospección Inteligente, smart prospecting in English, you can see it there. I talk about the help focus. You always have to say, you always have to have in your message always have to contain a help announcement, something like that. You always have to, your message can't be delivered, or you can't send a message or give a prospect a call or make a call without establishing very clearly, how you can help him. And not a lot of things. If you can help him in different ways, one by one. The main priority in the first call, or the most important in the first call, and maybe in your follow-ups you can use the other help elements, but right. Always very, very clear that you want to help, that you want to, and I'm very specific about the outcome you can create also, but very, very clear the thing that you want to help. You are helping your customer right now, your customers right now, your actual customers, your current customers you are helping them. That's why they buy you. So when you reach out to a prospect, you have to be with that mindset. You are helping people. So if you want to prospect, you want to help people. So it's also very beautiful.
I think it makes absolutely perfect sense, right? So when you were reaching out to people as a sales professional, you have to have a help announcement. I like the way you put that help announcement. It's coming to them with enough value that helps them solve a problem. And then being very specific about that, but not too many at one time. Like you mentioned having one at a time, which is another piece of this process where if you may be able to help a ton of customers with 3, 4, 5 different items, but if you pitch that all at one time, it will get lost in the noise, or you're not going to hit everybody with the same help announcement that's going to help them see the value with what you're pitching every single time. So you have to be systematic about how you go about this. What are some other ways that you help people prospect better, follow up better?
Well, the first thing that I said to my to my trainees, maybe, or the sales pros that came into my programs, first the habit, then techniques. Nothing will happen if you don't have the habit established in your day-to-day routine as a sales professional. First thing in the morning, or maybe as Jeb also says, in the golden hours, in the green hours, other people name
the money
like
hours,
that,
right?
Yeah. The first hours for prospecting, at least one block of 1 hour only to prospect. First the habit. You can have the habit, and you can be not so good calling, not so good messaging, not so good testing, not so good in social media. But if you have the habit, that's the first thing. Because if you're not so good, it will also things will happen. Things will happen surely if you have the habit created. But if you are very good in techniques in the different channels for prospecting, but you don't have the habit, nothing will happen, or maybe not so important things will not happen. But and then is when you can complement your habit, training and learning the new techniques and the new skills. So when you mix them, the habit with the new techniques and the new skills, that's when the world becomes very beautiful for a sales professional, because the two things, the most important things, first the habit, then techniques, but you have to start with the habit, that's the starting point for all sales professionals.
I love it. So we're going to have you at Outbound. Tell us a little bit about why people should come to Outbound.
Well, if you're in sales, you can't miss this great opportunity. First of all, you will be with what I call the sales gods. When I started my career 8 years ago, I started reading Jeb, I started reading Mark, I started reading Anthony, I started reading Victor Antonio, I started reading Amy Franco and following Brent Tillman. If you want to be at the top level, in your sales career, and you want to know the new techniques, how the AI today is helping us, how you can learn and acquire the best techniques for prospecting in today's world, in today's customers' world, and the buying process, pipeline velocity, all of that stuff. And also selling in Latin America, if you want to expand your business to Latin America, and learn how the buyers are behaving, which are the different cultures, which are the most important markets, the best ways to reach out, the most important skills that you must have to reach the Latin American market. Also, adding to all the other stuff that I said before, you can't miss this opportunity. You have to come to Outbound, and Outbound is the place where all sales professionals must be today. There's no other conference like that. It's the event of the year. So please think about it, because if not, you will be losing a lot of business. Your competition maybe will come, and that's a bad thing, eh?
Oh man, what a commercial for Outbound. So tell us a little bit about Latin America. So I know that you are going to be speaking on some different tactics for these businesses that may want to expand into Latin America. What are some of the tips that you're gonna walk through and expand on while you're at Outbound and speaking with people at this conference?
Well, first of all, understanding that all countries have different ways to do business. here in Latin America, that is very, very strict. It's not the same selling in Argentina than selling into Brazil or to a Mexican customer. You have to know that there are different ways to approach, maybe different channels, different ways to approach those prospects or those customers that are very different. Also, we have very different social and economic scenarios in all those countries. So you have to consider that before approaching a new market. So well, and also prospecting techniques, how to give some velocity to the sales cycle, and knowing your customer, knowing the particularities of the different buyers in the different countries and different zones of the region. You will have an advantage to make new business and to grow your business also in Latin America. But the cultural thing is very important, and the buyers' behaviors that are very, very different country to country.
I'm so glad that you're able to join us on the podcast. You heard it here first.
I'm so glad too.
Yeah, so we can't do this without people like Pablo, who are going to be teaching our teams incredible things like how to approach a different market, especially in the South American market. What are some of the cultural differences that will allow you to prospect better? And then, of course, prospecting techniques. He's written a book, Smart Prospecting, Prospección Inteligente. And you can pick that up, so you can go read what it's like to prospect in his market and in his space. And he is an expert in this. And we're going to have him at Outbound. He's going to be teaching classes while we're there. So if you haven't checked out Outbound, go to outboundconference.com. That's outboundconference.com/tickets. Go ahead and get your tickets now. The VIP tickets have already sold out. They're already gone. So go ahead and get those tickets. It's in San Antonio this year. That is November 5th through the 8th. November 5th through the 8th, Outbound Conference 2024. Pablo, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. And we look forward to seeing you in San Antonio.
Wow, look forward to. This is a dream come true to me, so I'm anxious. I can't wait. I can't wait to be there.
Oh, can't wait either. Thank you for coming and joining the Sales Gravy podcast. We'll see you next time.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you, Jeb. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to click like and subscribe so you never miss a single video. And if you want more sales training content, go to learn.salesgravy.com.